Hello everyone, welcome to Coding Theory Guru. In this video, we will learn about the iterative waterfall model in software engineering. See, iterative waterfall model. The waterfall model is a linear sequential software development process where each phase like requirements, design, coding, testing, etc. must be completed before moving to the next. Okay. But the iterative waterfall model improves on this by allowing feedback loops. See, what is the iterative waterfall model? The, the traditional waterfall model is a linear process where each stage requirements design, coding, testing, and deployment must be completed before moving to the next. But see, but here's the catch. Once you move forward, you usually cannot go back. Okay. If you discover mistakes late in the process, it becomes extremely costly to fix. That's where the iterative waterfall model comes in. Okay. So this model allows feedback loops, meaning if an error is found in the testing phase, developers can go back to the design or coding phase, then fix it and continue the process. So it's basically a more realistic and flexible version of the traditional waterfall model. Okay. Key idea in the traditional waterfall model, once you move forward, you can't go back. See, in the iterative waterfall model, if errors are found in later stages, example during testing, you can go back to the previous phase and correct them. This makes it less rigid and more practical than the pure waterfall model. See, phases of iterative waterfall model. Requirement analysis. Gather system requirements clearly. If something is missing later, we can come back here. See, first is requirement analysis. All the system requirements are gathered and documented. If something is missing or misunderstood, later phases can feed back into this stage. Okay. Second is system design. Create system architecture, data design, interface design can be revised if design flaws are found in coding testing. See, second is system design. Based on the requirements, the software's architecture and design are created. If coding or testing reveals flaws, we can revisit the design and correct it. Third is implementation coding. Write actual program models. If logic error occur, feedback goes back to design. Implementation or coding. The actual source code is developed here. If errors are found, feedback pushes us back to design or requirement stages. Then testing. Verify correctness of system and remove bugs. If major issues arise, feedback is given to design or coding. The system is tested for correctness, bugs, and performance. If issues appear, developers iterate back to the coding or design stage. Okay. Then deployment and maintenance. Deliver to users and fix issues after release. Maintenance often leads to revisiting requirements design. See, the product is released to end users. But remember, maintenance also generates feedback. Okay, which can take us back to earlier phases to refine the system further. Okay. Then advantages. More flexible than pure waterfall, errors can be detected early with feedback loops. Better for medium sized projects where requirements are somewhat understood. Each phase has a clear milestone and documentation. See, it's more flexible than the pure waterfall model. Then errors can be detected and corrected early. Each phase has clear deliverables and documentation, and it's a good fit for medium sized projects with well understood requirements. Then disadvantages: still less flexible than agile spiral models. Iteration increase cost and time if many changes occur. Not suitable for projects with highly uncertain requirements. Users don't see a working product until late phases. See, it's still less flexible compared to modern model like agile or spiral. Iterations may increase cost and project duration. Users don't see a working version until later in the process. Not suitable for projects with highly changing or unclear requirements. So, feedback arrows go back from each phase to the previous one. Iterative refinement. In short, the iterative waterfall model is like the normal waterfall, but the loops for corrections at every stage, making it more realistic for software projects. See, so in the short, the iterative waterfall model is a practical upgrade to the classic waterfall, and it keeps the structure phases but adds flexibility through feedback loops. Okay, feedback loops. And it's best used when requirements are fairly stable, but you still want room to connect mistakes along the way. Okay, thank you.